its life.
Yeah, I don't have any immediate things that I want to take care of. As long as what was it, David Charles?
David Charles, the chameleon, yes.
Yes, as long as he's okay, then I have no immediate.
He's like all bug-eyed on your shoulder. His eyes look wider than you've seen them before. And he's stuck to you in a rigid posture as
Oh
though
yeah,
slightly
because
afraid.
I did like that spinny attack while he was attached to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess my immediate action would be to comfort poor David Charles. That must have not been fun.
He does not seem particularly responsive.
Oh, poor chameleon.
He's kind of stuck in a very rigid posture. Like you could even lift him down off of your shoulder, and he doesn't move. Like he's
He's in
frozen.
shock.
Yeah, a little bit.
Poor thing. Yep. Other than like taking care of his immediate needs, I have nothing planned.
That's cool. All right. Well, you guys are in that aftermath. Meanwhile, Avender, you find the world stops blurring around you, and the outer edges of your vision, your peripherals refocus, and you've still got a chokehold on the red cap, who have been necrotizing a little bit, but your environs are now different. They are similar to the top of the tower the last time you scaled it. You're still inside. Again, it's not the parapets, though there are large windows. And across from you, this time there's no there's none of the pedestal with the large orb on it. Instead, there is at the other side a stone slab with a figure standing before it, uh, who all you can see right now is that they are completely cloaked and robed, and they're holding up both hands. There's a body on the table that you can see, not clearly right now, um, but you can see that it's been laid out there. And the figure has both of its hands raised as though it is in some kind of prayerful gesture or exaltation. Each hand out to one of the sides, stretched out. One appears to be holding some kind of a small, deformed rock, and the other
Defeats? It
appears.
there shouldn't be one to defeat someone.
How do you mean?
My bad.
I thought so.
I feel like somebody was having a conversation with somebody else and
I
forgot to
thought
mute his
so.
mic.
You're right. On the other hand, he is holding something, but you can't see what it is from this range because it's small. You just know that there's something in the hand. The arms, however, you can see at the edge of your light, from the forearm out, are extremely pale color, like paler than feasible for humans, and have a slightly purple tint to it. Like it's not ragingly purple. It's like a very very light lavender, kind of like veiny and
Lilac.
yeah, it's a gentle lilac, with hints of gray. And
Oh, so
the
it's like a
arms are
stormy sky.
veiny with a sort of atrophied look to them. They look extremely thin, like the only thing there is bone and muscle. And the fingers on the hands are long and clawed almost. You describe them as it's sort of like fingernails, but it's the more like the bones come down to points almost. And as you materialize, you can hear from across the room the sound like the closing end of some kind of a chant that grinds to a halt. Like is it was like a raspy voice that just you could tell he broke the whatever kind of incantation he was casting because of the surprise of something behind him, and you can see his hands kind of clench a little, whereas before they were just sort of open, holding the objects in them. They sort of curl, and the muscles flex along the arm, and you hear a voice in Sylvan, which I believe you speak. It is perfect Sylvan.
Almost positive I do. I speak a lot of things.
I'm pretty sure you speak Sylvan. So
Yes.
you hear him say, "I told you not to return until I called." To which the creature in your grasp replies,
I assume that my vampiric touch is still going, and that I am still draining the life out of him. I take a look at this strange figure, and I go, I assume that this thing is one of yours.
Hearing your voice, the figure like the you can see its back straighten, and its hand closes around the rock, and the arm. Okay, so without the thing moving itself, so it's staying in the same place. Its arm bends in an awkward way, and the rock is pivoted so that it is the top of it is facing you, and you can now see it at the edge of the light, and it is partly spherical, and it has a similar charge in it, the electronic charge from the scrying orb, but it's both deformed and has some kind of integral flaw inside it that you can see. But it's now looking, so it's pivoted so that it is looking at you, and you could imagine it as like an eye stalk, if you will, like the Dianoga, the thing in the trash compactor in Star Wars. It's like that looking at you. And the other hand slowly begins to clench tighter. It's got some harsh grip on whatever's inside of it. And it says, I did not instruct you to bring any more sacrifices. And then the hand tightens again, and this time you hear a sound. It's like a small squish. It's like, and then through the right fist, which is clenched extremely tight, you can see blood oozing down between the fingers, but it's mixed with some whitish substance. It's like a clear white pulp. As it like continues wringing tighter than just wringing into itself, so that the fist is clenched completely, and whatever was inside it is just absolutely obliterated. And you hear then it delve off into a series of whispers which are not in Sylvan, but it is speaking out loud, and it's like,
I would like to make an Arcana check on all these things that are going on.
okay, yeah.
Do I need to
go
make a
ahead.
separate one for the stone and for the chanting?
You can both for both if you wish. They are separate
Okay, for the
things.
stone, for the chanting. Well, I got no clue what the chance is.
Okay, it's actually super appropriate. So the stone it looks like it was supposed to be like what the scrying orb is. And you've seen this before because younger magicians will make similar mistakes when crafting magic items. You can heavily deform the item, possibly destroying it even by a lack of skill and improper application of magic that will even warp the item's shape and cause integral flaws and failures to it that cause it not to work like it's supposed to. And what you see across from you is a small scrying orb, but it's one that has been damaged heavily, probably in its creation. So whoever made it didn't know how to do it quite correctly. The chanting, however, it could be a spell in no language that you have ever heard, and it is baffling and a little terrifying, a little maddening around the edges. But it's a language that you've never heard, and it doesn't appear to be in any syntax that you know for spellcasting. But he continues, and he like hunches over the table a little bit as he does so, and the guy in your grip is like,
is he dead by this point? Because that's 3d6 every round, so that or he's pretty close. Do you want me to actually roll damage? How many times?
Roll for me. Yeah. You can roll it. Do it 3 times.
Okay. Well, that's the first set, so that's 14 damage.
14.
That's 10 damage. That's another 10 damage.
Okay, so yeah, during the third second, he like the greenish color like seeps up through his face, like spreading through each vein, like kind of scouring a path along and leaving necrotized flesh behind it until you get all the way into his eyes, and they glow green. There's like a burst for a second, and of course, every moment of it, there's like a pulse up your own arm. There's the same kind of green energy that feeds into you, but to a slightly different effect, in that it is invigorating rather than draining, and the body goes limp in your hand.
Cool.
And the standard that it was holding clatters to the ground.
All right. I am. All right. So I'm going to let it fall to the ground. As it do, I grab that cap off of its head, and then I just draw. So like I'm drawing. I'm a whole, and I hold it just to make sure that it's dead. And as I go, I look at the thing, and I go, if I was a younger man, I may offer you a chance at redemption or forgiveness. But unfortunately, I have experience, and I already know what you've done, what you are, and how you can never come back from it. And I slam my staff on the ground and make fire appear underneath him.
Okay. All right, so he makes what kind of a save now?
He makes a reflex save.
Luck.
All right, let me find out what this guy's reflex is. Sorry, I didn't expect immediate engagement with this dude.
I'm sorry.
I was all like, he's gonna talk, and there's gonna be things.
The joys of the GM. You can
There
never
we
fully prepare for what you're gonna do.
Sorry, it's what he would do. He's
No,
dealt
no,
with
it's good.
cultists. He's like, no, you've already killed and murdered everyone probably from how much blood was downstairs, and you are quite obviously a cultist. This thing worked for you. We just need to kill you as fast as possible.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So 17.
Yeah, that he
to
dodges out of the way.
defy your. All right. So he launches himself to the side slightly, and you can see that the whole time he's keeping the left arm with the orb in it, like so that the orb is facing you at all times.
Okay. All right.
And as he launches himself to the side, he's going to be like, and were you still talking to him in Sylvan?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, because he'll respond.
I
in
imagine that it's
Sylvan.
kind of more like, it's not like a decision. It's more like, oh, someone is talking me into that language. I'll respond to that language because he just speaks so many.
Right. So he's going to launch himself to the side. You probably always trying to undermine me. And he's going to
Can I
stretch
have
out
that
the right
in
hand,
subtitles?
which flings something to the side. He says, "You foul things, always trying to undermine me." Although he is really raspy, and it is in a growly, like it's a barely audible voice. It's like
That's
a
fair.
growling whisper. And he's going to pivot for this one. So like he dodges out of the way, gets low, and then slides. And as he does,
Thank you, Anna.
you catch the side of his face, or what you think is his face, something sticking out from under the hood, and there are like arms coming off of his face that you can see. Again, he's at the kind of like the edge of your light.
Well, I
spell,
mean, there's a
so
giant bonfire beside him now.
true, but it is behind him, so like the shadow is cast over the face area. And he stretches out his arm, the right hand towards you. Something flings out of it across the floor. But the standard, which is on the floor beside the red cap that you killed, lurches up and reels across the room and snaps into his hand.
Well, that can't be good.
And as it does so, the banner wraps itself rapidly around the staff and the staff of the standard, and forms itself into like a wrap around it that you can see, once it is wrapped around, has a bunch of symbols that look like a myriad number of little eyes as it folds down both the drawing on it and drawings that you had not previously seen. Look like a myriad number of eyes. And he looks, I guess he'll turn his head so that he's looking at you. And you can see within the heavily shadowed area. Now, I don't know that I don't think Avender has a reason to have ever been to the sea. But it's possible that he's seen etchings or drawings in various texts of sea creatures. So I'm going to say that you know
I mean, he
vaguely
was
what
an
a
adventurer,
cephalopod
so he's
looks
been
like,
all around the world.
and that it looks like it's got on his, and it looks like stuck onto his face. He's got a cephalopod.
Okay.
With the tentacles reaching out, seemingly still dexterous, and where his eyes should be, you just see empty cavities. And he's going to say, "So, you wish to ride your chains again?
We'll see how long you will last compared to the others.
And
But before officially combat, can I do one thing? This isn't gonna go well, but I just want to try it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Avender looks at him, and he shouts, one second. Let me look exactly what the other some of the more. Yeah,
Shout.
he goes, he goes, I am Avender Zaveria, the astute, one of the infamous hawks of the coven, and if you worthless piece of slime think that you are the first of your evil ilk that I have put down in my long life, then you are about to be very sadly mistaken. And he shouts at the top of his lungs, and I want to make an intimidate check. It's not going to go well. I've got a 1. It's not going to go well, but I just want to see what happens. I mean, decent.
Yeah. So you shout this at him.
Full on, like
and
yell as loud as loud as I can.
The heavy iron staff grinds into the floor as he like swirls it around him, and you can see that like some kind of emotion plays across his face, like the area above the eye sockets like lurches through. You're not entirely sure. Fear, anger, some kind of flat state of no emotion, and then it locks the orb in your direction. After kind of like whizzing about a little bit, like it's spasming, and he's going to slam the staff into the ground, and there's like this sulfurous, noxious smell about it as he does so. And he's going to take a step forward, and he's going to say, "Your name, your puny names mean you are a practitioner of magic." And like it just completely changes. Like it goes from super mad, like intimidating villain voice, to wizard being curious because he's just found something in his petri dish that wasn't there before. He says, You have come. You know you can help me. You will.
Oh, so yeah. So when he says when he says that, he goes, "Yes, I could help you, but unlike you, I'm smart enough to know that I shouldn't." And what I would like to do is I would like to run at him, and I would like to grab him and push him back into the fire and grab him with my spooky vampire hand.
Okay.
Which I'm assuming I have to roll initiative for, but that's cool.
So actually, what I'm gonna this is scenography to me. So you run across the room at him. So have you deposited the red cap? Or your staff?
I'm still holding my. I dropped the red cap as I did that a while ago.
Okay.
Like I dropped that like almost like right away after I said the initial thing. Like I threw it,
Okay.
I threw it away
And
so it
you
wouldn't
run
fall on the red cap. But yeah, I dropped that.
All right, so make me the athletics check to grab him, and he's going to roll against you.
I mean, this isn't the worst thing I could ever do.
Because this is
Yeah,
be
it's
an
not gonna go well.
opposed athletics check. So you grab him. So how do you want to grab him?
Like the plan is to like grab him in the center of mass so I can grab him and push him back into the
Okay.
fire as I'm holding him with the vampiric hand at the same time.
Sure. So you grasp him and you begin pushing him backwards, and you push him into the fire. And I will see. Let's see. So you push him back into here. And as you do, you push him into the fire. You've grabbed him, and for just a second, past him, now that your staff is much closer and your light source is much closer, you catch a glimpse of the body on the table. And suddenly, like, the effect of your spell, the necrotic ability that you're channeling through your hand, the same sort of like etched memory that allowed you to cast that in this moment allows you to picture this guy, and you see him and you know him, and all of a sudden, like, the room around you is gone, like completely gone. You are in a large circular room, but it is covered in, like, the walls are bookshelves. There are tables laid out around you with different instruments, most of them for study of the astronomical. There are books. There's some wizardish lab tools, and there's a balcony that's over on the edge of the room because, like, it is circular, and imagine like you're in a castle or a tower, and across from you there's a large doorway that leads out onto a huge balcony, and there's a man standing there with the rough equivalent of a telescope in this world. It's got magical focusing lenses and like the scrying orbs in it that make it into a very far-seeing device. And he's staring into it, and you remember the man on the table, and remember this guy, and you are yourself much younger. You look down and you see yourself very young, and you see him very young standing across from you, and you know that he hasn't earned his wizard's name yet. He hasn't gained that much, because you know he's just a clerk that was brought in from much lower by one of the wizards, one of the teachers in the school recently on a sojourn. She tapped his magical power and brought him here to learn, but he's not a very promising learner. He's way more interested in stargazing than he is in learning magic. His name's Garrett. And he is staring out into the expanse in the star field, and he seems enraptured. He seems like he's not paying you any mind, really. He hasn't noticed that you've come into the room. He's late for some course or other. I mean, it is the middle of the night, but he's late for some course or other, and you've come to find him.
Okay.
And you find him of what he's doing.
I guess with what's going on, I immediately try to see if this is an illusion of some kind, and if so, if I can break through it.
Insight check against illusion.
Okay. 19.
There's this subtle fading in your mind, right, that brings you back, and you can tell that this is some fractured piece of memory that you had discarded long ago because it wasn't like this moment in time wasn't really important. But now that you see him, you've seen him there on the slab. You've seen his face, eyes scoured out, like blood leaking down the face, laid out on this slab for some strange ritual. You're remembering this man in years past, and there's like a strange moment that you're locked in it, and it's more real to you than everything around you is.
All right, fair enough. So then, I'll do exactly what I did back then, which is,
Okay.
which is walk up and place a firm, but not painfully firm hand on his shoulder and state, Garrick, you're late for class again.
The hand makes him jump, like he's a,
And as he drops the spyglass, I have my other hand underneath to catch it.
oh, Avender, you scared the daylights out of me. Oh God, what time is it? Oh, you're right. Oh no, I've done it. I'm sorry. It's just, I was reading.
Yes,
and
yes,
I
all
found-
the same. And I put the thing back in his hand. Now hurry, hurry! You don't want to be any later than you are.
Yeah.
Bothering to me.
Okay, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I've made you late too. Oh God. Here, let me just. And he goes to grab a book that he has laid out on the banister beside him. And he picks it up, and as he does, you can see the stars that he was focusing on, and you can see the book, which is laid out with like a dimensional kind of like sketching. So it's got the astronomical equivalent of like what wizards think the stars should look like.
By what they
and-
should look like. Does that mean what we think they look like, or if we were in charge and could make them actually how they actually correct what they would look like? If we fixed them.
It's so. Imagine someone positing what they think
Okay.
stars are without really being able to get up to them.
That is fair.
This is, yeah, and it's got a layout, and you can see that it is the constellation that he's looking at, is some roving thing. You've never actually seen it before. You've never studied the book that he's looking at, but specifically what draws your attention for just that moment is that Garrick is looking at a constellation, and particularly what he's focusing on is an image that is a series of 5 eyes, like it's stars that someone has postulated into a constellation, and part of the constellation is 5 eyes that trail down some long body, and as that occurs, your memory fractals again, and things start to split apart in this image. He kind of ends up in one fractal and floats away from you. Your hand no longer sitting on him. The book fractals in another direction. The spyglass fractals in another direction.
As a piece. So I actually pressed the spyglass into his chest. Like when I handed it back to him, I was pressing it into his chest with the same hand.
All right. Yeah. So your hand pushed forward. You're back into the room with the thing. You've pushed it into the flames. It seems very unhappy with you. So what it is going to do in response to being pushed into the fire and the flames and carrying on, and your necrotizing damage, is it's going to slam its staff into the ground, and immediately the shadows in the room begin to deepen. But as it does so, there's a sound from behind you,
Uh-huh.
right? Like you guys are fighting, and there's a stone slab, and there's the body of a wizard who you once knew as Garrick. Um, and this thing has like its tentacles are reaching out and grasping at your head. Um, and the heavy iron staff in one hand. There's a sulfurous blast. The shadows are growing deeper, and then there's this subtle hum in the room, and you hear a shout that is it's frenzied and frenetic, and it hits your ears and it hits your mind. Like you can hear it inside your head, and it's not any magic sending spell. It's not any power that you've encountered before. It just rips through your body and mind simultaneously, and it's what have you done? Um, and there is a massive shadow that begins to ascend behind you. Um, Give me just a second.
Sorry, you cut off. What was that
I
last
didn't
part?
expect you to get in. I'm doing a thing. I didn't expect you to get quite here just so fast, so I'm going to grab it real quick.
Such an overachiever, Joel. You're catching Aaron off guard.
I'm old. I don't have much time left. I gotta get stuff done.
Well, and I did put him here earlier than you guys were supposed to be, so.
While you're finding that thing, I'm gonna take a quick run to the bathroom.
Okay. All right, you guys are downstairs.
Yes,
It's
I
still
am.
the only sound is just the dripping of blood. You're back on your feet, of course. You've shot a couple things. There's a snake person over in the corner.
Just chilling there?
You witnessed it stab a dog into powder.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's,
it's got like part of a manacle hanging off of one of its arms. Your little halfling buddy is standing there too, in the midst of blood and gore.
As I usually am.
All right, I'm back.
Apparently, the snake person's being emo. All right, so there is a huge show that overcasts. Well, I guess the other half of the room.
Oh,
Since you're
boy.
at the light source.
Well, I'm the light source, and there's
And
a
it
giant
looms
bonfire,
large.
which are both right beside me. Yeah.
Yeah, either way. So there's like a huge shadow that looms across the ceiling, I guess, for you. Is kind of like where it would be. As something appears behind you,
Appears ominously.
you hear the sound of incredibly heavy footsteps across the stone. But roll for me your damage on the flame trap and the necrotic
Sweet.
force.
Well, I only get 8
Pulsing
for
from
the
you.
necrotic. And 4 for the...
Okay.
So very average.
Yeah. So for the necrotic damage, as you unleash it into the creature, you feel as though while you are still able to sap some kind of vigor from him, that the flesh of this thing is compelled by a similar dark energy. As though it is itself using that energy to stay alive, and that your spell, which is made to kill living things, is slightly less punchy than it is on like the red cap who you drained. This guy doesn't seem to react to it as much. The fire still burns, and the bottom of his robes are singed, catching flame. The humongous thing behind you, though, is going to roar at you, bestially, and you feel hot breath course through the room, and the abhorrent reek of a sulfurous stench is just cascades. It's like hot wind just blasting through. And the thing that you have in your hand, this monstrous wizard of a kind, is going to stagger backwards. You've still got him in your grasp. You're still holding him in the flames. He's going to be like, boom, and he slams the staff into the ground again, having apparently lost the last spell he was trying to cast, and he blasts from the staff, like slamming it into the ground at an angle, and there's like a beam, like a ray, if you will, that extends out from it, and it just sweeps through whatever's behind you, and you can see just out of your peripheral vision the arc of the thing as he carves through part of the top of the tower, including the roof, the stone, and etc. And as the ray of light extending from his staff, like a sickly reddish light, extends from the staff and hits the stuff, it just disintegrates. Like there's barely anything left. It just falls into particulate matter, and he sweeps the whole of the room with it. And it's a wild swing. Whatever's behind you roars in some kind of frustration and agitation. And there's going to be a crazy attack from that thing as it swings about with its claws.
Good.
I don't know. Maybe it'll hit.
It's been a fun character.
I'll find out. It has, hasn't it? Happy wizard! Yeah, so the claw strike swings down and it smashes onto the table, the slab behind you guys, or in front of you, I guess, behind the creature that you're holding, and you can see it. It looks like a giant crab pincer for all the world. And smashes down. The body in front of you is like bisected. It's already pretty well drained and stuff, so it's not like it. But there are fleshy bits that fly apart. It's not an immensely bloody affair. But the other claw is going to also try to grab the guy that you're holding on to, and you are sort of in the way, but he's going to grab a little higher, I think. Or he'll try to. He'll roll a 2. So he lunges forward, and you can feel like a human hand grab your shoulder as it tries to gain leverage, and there's a claw that tries to clamp down on the squid-looking creature in front of you, but he ducks. Like he looks like he is ready to be as dodgy a bastard as he can, and he slips your grasp, he slips this thing's grasp, and he's going to vault his way over the slab and like crouch behind it. Oh. Wow. He's like, and he like slides down, and you get the idea that his body might be a little bit more malleable than yours as he does so. And For whatever excuse I use for a turn order, it's your turn now.
Okay. So these things do not like each other. From what, like, he tried to shoot him, and then he tried to hit him, and they appear to not be friends right now.
That is what it seems.
Okay, so this is a pretty accurate of what this thing looks like.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a humanish thing that is fused into a much bigger thing.
All right. Well, here's my question: Can I attempt to Okay, I want to drop my staff. And I want to attempt to use what's left of the altar thing here to jump up and get on this thing's back. And then place my hand place my hand directly on it, my vampiric hand directly on its head.
Okay.
Okay, let me just explain this. Avender does not realize how old he is right now, which is why he's acting this way. That's my justification of why he's doing these things.
That's all right.
Or like justification, it's why he's doing these things.
Okay. Yeah. Make me an athletics check.
Oh. I thought it was going to be a 19 again for a second.
Yeah. You jump up onto the slab fairly dexterously, and you leap at the creature, and you grab a hold of one of its arms. Like, you don't make it onto its back, but you're on its arm, and you've got a fair grasp. So the claw is beneath you, your legs are kind of dangling in that direction, and you've got a hold of its lovely bicep, and it has plenty of it. I mean, this guy's ripped. He's been to the gym, probably this week. He's done arm day. He's bristling. It's a little spiky. It's a little uncomfy. But there's plenty to hold on to.
I'm just trying to get up on the Hydra's back.
Yeah, well, you there.
I'm working my way there.
All right, I'm going to.
Should I
real quick
roll necrotic damage?
Yeah, roll the damages.
That's much better.
Yeah, that's good. He probably won't.
No, he won't.
I mean, he might have liked you before, but now, I don't know. Where are you, dude? Is he? Maybe he's technically a demon. There he is! Okay. Alright. Okay, there's no saving throw for this. Oh yeah, he takes it all. He doesn't like it either. Okay. Alright, so your damage pulses out through his arm, and you can feel the life force of this creature, whatever it is extremely potent. And although you're drawing energy from him, it is like there's, as opposed to before where you could wither entire limbs, like as you do it, you just leave a mark right beneath your hand initially where the skin begins to go gray.
Good. Good.
And one of the little more human arms, which it looks like a human arm, like reaches up for you slowly, and is going to try and beat you off. So we'll see how.
I mean, this is very understandable behavior.
Yeah, he's not happy with what you're doing. So he rolls a 14 against your AC
That misses.
with his fist. And the other thing he's going to do is swipe down at the creature that is hiding behind the slab with one of his big old talons. Oh, he just gets all the attacks in the world, so he's just smashing all over the place. And the creature who is hiding behind the slab is going. You can hear just insane muttering, and a spell loosely cast is just, and there's just a wall that the creature that you're currently riding seems to be hitting. Like there's an invisible wall has placed itself there, and it's smashing against that wall. I guess it's so like there's the rampaging. You're hanging on. It's going to try. I don't know that it cares about you that much. It really wants the thing on the other side of the room. Oh yeah. I gotta see. Your roll versus its. Okay. Okay, your turn. What do you want to do? You're hanging onto this thing. It's smashing at an invisible wall.
Okay, can I make
some
a
kind of
quick Arcana
force
check
keeping
to
it
see
out?
if I know what this thing is, or I guess possibly religion?
Yeah.
It's this.
Yeah.
It's the exact
You
same
can try.
score, so it doesn't.
So this thing is, to the best of your knowledge, an amalgamation. It's like a human that has given itself over to some darker power in return for incredible strength, physical strength, to some end. It by necessity has had to attain this power, has had to make great sacrifice. It has had to eschew that which it cared for in the world, besides, of course, its gain, which is towards the whatever dark desire caused it to want this power in the first place. And it has sort of been merged, if you will, with some power from another plane. It is, in this case, I'm going to say it is of diabolic nature. And
all right, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah,
with my plan
juggernaut.
to climb up to try to climb up and get up on the thing's back.
Make me another athletics check. And while you're doing it, roll me a raw d20 as well. I want to see.
Okay, great. Well, let me get the athletics out for you first. See how that goes. Oh, better than last time.
Yeah. You're making progress. So, you're my fire versus my fire. Where's the little mouse? Give me just a second. There it is. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, okay. All right. So, as you're climbing, because I managed to roll super low, which is fun for me, you notice that the thing that you're climbing is it's like in a video game when you find a bad texture, and you're like, wait a second, this looks terrible. What artist did this? And then you realize, like, because you're still climbing it, and you're like, what artist did this? It's an actual thought that kind of crosses your mind. It's like, what? And then there's the realization that whatever you're clinging to isn't altogether there.
Okay.
So like you are climbing it, but at the same time you're pretty sure that if you stopped believing in it, you wouldn't be attached to anything.
I have a
anymore.
plan then.
Mm-hmm.
Now is not the time to be frying eggs.
I mean, you guys can be doing whatever you want down there. There's apparently nothing going on at all.
Yeah. Do you still want me to roll damage?
Yeah, go ahead. Another pulse through the thing, and you're like as you go, you're like, there's artistry here, but it obviously wasn't made to undergo very close scrutinization. And the damage pulses through its shoulder region where you are now. And it seems to have effect. It seems to be real. To the point where you question yourself as to whether or not, in fact, it is.
Okay.
It might be. It appears to be responding to your spell. So whatever, if it were a caster, for instance, causing something to happen. Ooh, here, I can move you to the 4 so that you're on top. There you go. If it were a caster, for instance, casting some kind of illusion, they've got to be close by because they're perceiving what you're doing and they're adapting to it. Or it is a conjuration of some kind, and your old eyes are telling you things.
Okay, I have a plan. When it's my turn again, I guess.
Okay. It basically, what happens is the thing is going to step forward. It's still lashing about a little, trying to throw you off. It rolls a 21 on its athletics check to knock you off of it. As it just shakes. It's like shake. It's a Taylor Swift, basically.
All right, fine. That's fine. Wabam, I guess.
Well, I mean, you get an opposed check. I don't know if you are strong.
I mean, I can't technically beat it. Technically.
Yeah, I know that your strength check, if you roll high enough, you can hang on.
I did not roll high enough.
That is not high enough. Yeah, so you are thrown wham across the room as it shakes like a porcupine, an angry porcupine would shake, and it's going to slam into the wall and just pummel it with all its force. You can feel the building shaking. In fact, guys, you guys downstairs can feel the building shaking from the pummeling force.
Do I take any damage from
wall that's holding it back?
Getting slammed into the wall?
You take, because it's a small fall, so you take 3 damage, 3 points of bludgeoning.
Not particularly.
And he's just he smashes a lot. His knee comes up and slams into the wall. He's pounding with both the human fists. The claws are rapping on a much higher note towards the ceiling. He slams it with his horned head as he's trying for all he's worth to get to this thing behind the wall.
Okay.
And it is your turn for whatever you would like to do.
Okay. So, what I would like to do is I would like to make a conscious effort to no longer believe in this thing. First off.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Roll me insight.
Insight or a will save. Okay.
Insight.
Too bad. I have proficiency in wisdom
'Cause you
saves. 20.
Hey. Okay. Well, you're going to be a happy person when you learned that I rolled a 19. So, you look, and the thing is, as you piece it apart, you're like, I got you. But it's not magic. It's not a spell. It is altering an alteration of the world, and it isn't real. It is similar to what would happen if you cast an illusion. And as you look, you see that where the thing is, right, is not a giant horned demonic creature, but is in fact a rat. There's just a rat there.
Okay.
It's a little rat, and it looks like if you look at it straight on, it looks like its head has been shaved so that its brain is exposed.
Oh, I the player half know what these things are. I don't know mechanically, but I remember somewhat of this thing.
Well, remember, I'm in charge, so mechanics might.
Well,
be
even
a
that, but I
little
mean,
bit
like the
less
general
what they-
like twist of what they do. Like I remember that the yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then, what I would like to do. Okay, since with what I now know, do I think it'd be possible to directly grab the brain creature? Yeah.
The brain rat?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
cool. Then, if possible, I would like to run over to it. Since it's on my way, I'd like to pick up my staff as possible and then grab Brain Rat. And if possible, also yank him out of the illusion. Yank him out of the illusion thing he's created. I don't know if that's possible, but you know, I'll try.
Sure, you can try it. I mean, rat. Go grab the rat. So make me an athletics check to grab rat.
Okay.
Rat grab. I'm sorry, that's just what this game uses for grapples. And he will oppose you with a 3 on the die, and he has a strength of -4. He has a -1. Grab the rat.
With a 6. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna.
So you hear a.
Okay. I would. I was. So I do the hand damage to him.
You're doing that. So you're hitting
Oh yeah,
the rat with the
definitely. Why
necrotic
not?
damage.
There's no reason not to.
Okay, go ahead. Roll me that damage. This doesn't matter. Just so you
All right,
know,
11.
just doing
It
this for
matters
fun.
to me because it heals me. That's why I care.
True. For all 2 points of his health,
Oh,
that you steal from him. And the little rat's just like, his eyes get huge for just a second, and the light that's coming out of his dome fades rapidly, and the thing withers. It dries up, and you have like jerky dried
Okay.
rat in your hands now. Although you wouldn't eat it.
No,
probably,
I'm not a
I don't
dwarf.
think. I mean, it's no rat on a stick for you. But the giant thing fades away as you do
okay.
so.
I
Just-
would like to make a sleight of hand check to hide the rat from this thing seeing it.
Okay.
This isn't gonna be.
All right. Make
Okay.
your check.
It's decent.
All right. What is his passive perception? Brr, 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 brr.
There's a chance. There's a chance that succeeds.
Yeah, his passive perception is 13.
Okay,
So you,
so then.
you do. Oh no, his passive perception is big. Why is it so big? Oh, it's 17.
Okay.
No, he knows the rat's there. You get the rat like under your. Where are you hiding it? Behind you?
Just
Under
stuck
your
it, just
cloak,
stick it in a
or-
pocket somewhere.
It's just the tail. Bloop. It's still there. So it slowly rises from behind the altar that is in front of it. Not looking at you, it's looking away. Or its face is pointed in another direction, and the hand comes up again like an eye stalk, swiveling around the room. And it catches sight of the thing in your pocket, and it's like,
I should have known he would send one like you.
Oh, does it seem like he's talking to the rat or talking to me? Okay.
you're not sure. And he slams the staff into the ground again, and it says,
You cannot subsume me. I'm complete spiritual. I will not be drawn back.
what does he want to do with his life at this point? Does he have a way to get out? He wants to get away from you. He don't like you no more. Oh, that's funny.
I just realized, yeah, because I realized that I could probably come off being terrifying to this guy because he saw me murder his one thing. He probably assumes that his other thing is dead, and he knows what they could do. And I just killed the. If I could get off making it look like I killed the big giant thing in one attack.
You could certainly try. But all in all, he's not happy about being in this room anymore. So I think he's going to do this. So what he does is you hear him in that same strange language that you don't know. He's going to start speaking what is definitely some kind of strange incantation. He's,
He starts speaking
And
German?
So he's speaking Scottish.
Sure.
He's speaking Scotterman.
Scott Erman.
Skirman.
Skirmin!
The language of Skirman.
Hannah sounds pretty good for not having a mic.
Shit, she's coming through mine.
She can be a loud person.
I can if I want to be.
All the time.
You're in the same room, I can murder you.
You know, I'm just gonna turn push to talk off so that you can hear. All right.
Do I have an action?
Sure, you can take I'll give you a reaction within this space. He's casting something. The shadows in the room grow very long as he does so. But if you want to take some kind of reactive move, I'll give you that now.
Okay. What can I do during a reaction, or is it just?
Oh, you know what?
Okay.
What do you want to do?
So
We'll figure it out.
if
This is
if possible,
cinematic space.
since I grabbed up my staff, I would like to grab it in both hands and smack the little borble thingy that he's doing the eye stalk thingy with out of his hand.
Okay. He is a little bit of ways away, so you'll have to run at him and
Yeah.
smack. But we'll
Okay.
make a disarm.
I was gonna say
attempt.
because if not, then I was going to ask if I could shoot magic missile and blast it out of his hand. I would have.
What do you want? What do you? What
I
do you
want to smash
look
him
like?
with the staff.
Okay. All right. So you run at him with the staff. So make a staff attack for me. And he's going to make an opposed something.
Yeah, do a something with a something or other.
I don't know how disarms are supposed to work in this.
Whoa.
How much should I really care? Oh, that's much better.
I got a 24.
Roll a 5. So yeah, you run at him, and in his frenzy moment, you smack the little orb out of his hand. And he's like, ah! And he reaches, he like panic reaches for it. But he's already cast his spell. And you witness as he becomes a shadow, like the corporeal element of him begins to fade, and he looks like he's frozen in that pose, and he looks like an after image. So like first he looks kind of like a photographic negative on like old film, and then that begins to fade as though like when you close your eyes and there's images on the back of them and you open it up and it's still there. Okay. It's like that, and there's just a superimposition of what he was on the space there, and he's gone.
So if I like swing my staff through where he was, he's just not there. It connects with nothing. Is the little bauble still around?
The little bauble is now on the ground.
Okay, yeah, I would like to make an in-depth Arcana check on this thing. So I guess if possible, I technically like to take 10 or some such thing.
Sure. Yeah. So you are going to spend a while being.
I'm doing the whole thing with Gandalf when the ring is on the floor of Bag End. He's just like staring at it and not going to go touch it quite yet.
Okay. So yeah, your observation.
So if I can take 10, then it'd be a 16 to Arcana.
Okay, so it is, for what you can tell, at range and sensing out the spell, it appears to be a scrying utensil of some kind, much like the one that you found earlier.
That's a good reminder. I will
fork, more like a.
Yeah, I'll take the 10 minutes to ritually cast detect magic on it.
Yeah, it's some kind of. It's definitely a divination cast on it, but it is fractured and flawed. There was a lot of things that this guy could have said, but yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's a lump of rock that so basically what you determine is much what you initially thought when you saw it, which is that it's like what happens when a journeyman wizard tries to create a magic item and fails. And it is a scrying orb, but unlike the one that you touched before, where you could touch it and your vision was expanded over a large expanse, like as you concentrated, it just grew. This one, like no matter how hard you concentrate on it, it just lets you see as though it were an eye, as though this thing's an eyeball.
Oh, okay.
That you can see from.
So wherever this guy, so if I detect magic, I don't detect anything else around here, or do I?
I mean, there's lots of
but
residual
like
stuff.
residually here, does it feel like he cast a teleportation spell, like kind of thing? Or like a planar travel, like something to.
Yeah, it's stronger than teleport, whatever it was.
Yeah.
He definitely is translocated somewhere, but you've never seen a teleport work like that. B, it wasn't any kind of magic that you're familiar with.
I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't actually greater invisibility or something, as far as I could tell.
Yeah.
All right.
So your magic within 10 minutes, he hasn't killed you, and he does not appear to have transmogged himself at all, because I believe that is I believe invisibility.
Transmogrification. All right, I'm going to take I imagine like a small piece of leather or something, and I'm going to use it to pick up the thing and wrap it. And then I go to put it in a pocket.
So you have it.
And I realize I put the rat in that pocket.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
You got a lot of stuff.
I'm gonna put it. I'm going to. It's very clumsical. I'm going to like put the staff in between my legs so I can reach with my other hand and pull the rat out and drop it and then put it
in. Yeah.
Like it's goofy if anybody watches it.
Yeah. And as you do, you notice that around the edges of the room, there are more of the little rat guys. They're all watching you. They're not moving. They're just all at the edge of the room watching you. Downstairs, what's going on?
Well, I'm enjoying a nice roasted tomato, bacon, and lettuce sandwich.
Where did you guys get the stuff for that? It was in the larder.
Disappeared. No one knows.
Yeah.
Halfling maybe tries to befriend it.
A meal has ensued.
It's really calm, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, he disappeared.
Darkesh, do you agree with this? What's happening? I think Bird Person might
With
help.
the sandwich?
The sandwich?
I'm all for the sandwich.
We're just enjoying a meal.
There's blood dripping from the ceiling. Hellfire spewing from a brazier in the same room with you.
We cooked it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yes, a Hellfire roasted BLT.
Exactly.
The whole room smells like rotten eggs and dead things.
Well, now it smells like rotten eggs,
And
BLT.
Yeah, you think that would deter a halfling from its meal?
You know, I'd just like to point out, it's moments like this that I wish we were doing XP, because I would get so many solo XPs right now.
The rest of your crew is just going,
Yeah, well.
Down.
what we're doing, okay?
Off her back at you. 1 kilometer.
Alright. Group of shadow assassins appear. Kill you all. Okay, so BLTs. Is conversation being had, or are you guys just bunching? Chowing down?
I guess like casual conversation.
Yeah, it's like really short answers, like, how's your day been? Good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a snake person. I don't think anyone here has ever seen a snake person before.
And remember, just not
Yeah.
Like the throne kind of thing, and
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a cat person and a bird person too, so I guess a snake person's not that weird.
It's just another
all-
humanoid.
They're all spirits. I don't know how humanoid that is. It's vaguely got a human torso. About it.
so like a naga.
Well, I think it's got arms too. So.
It's like those things from XCOM. He's an
XCOM.
alien.
Yeah, like that. Very much like that. Or the Forgotten, if you play. Although, I guess it doesn't have 4 arms. Alright.
Yeah.
Avender. What's going on? Cranium rats standing around the room looking at you. Weird. Guy's gone. You killed a little dude. Got an eyeball orb and a bisected body in the room with you.
All right, so
The wizard who owned this tower is dead.
Yeah,
is what I'm getting at.
I'm going to, since it all right, I'm gonna say that the rat's still in my hand. And
Okay. You're holding the rat. All the rats are looking at you. Your spell, by the way, is faded.
Oh, you know, I used my last one on the rat as far as I had like one. I had like 6 seconds of it left. Okay. So, I'm going to kneel down and gingerly place the rat on the floor. And I'm going to look at the other rats, and I'm going to say, he goes, I'm sorry. I believe in the heat of the moment in battle, I may have misunderstood everything that was going on, and for my incompetence, your companion had companion. Yeah, your companion had paid the ultimate price. I apologize.
Well, have you ever been in a room, like at a concert, where sound is so loud that it kind of vibrates through your body?
I hate those.
Yeah. That's what it feels like when these things talk to you. And it's not audible. You know, it's all through your body, like it's resonating through you. And the reply that you receive is, almost had him this time. And then they and then, like, as if in acknowledgement, they pivot towards the rat that you've laid on the ground. The life of one of these intercessors is inconsequential. Think nothing of it.
Then I shan't. And and it goes, if possible, I would be willing to barter for information to exactly what he is and what was going on here.
Your interference, though unappreciated in that it caused the interloper to escape, is nonetheless something I will thank you for, since you drew our attention to him once more. Had hidden well.
I'm sorry, you were cutting out a ton there. What was that?
It's saying that the thing had hidden well, and that you had drawn the attention of whatever compels these rats to this place. And they thank you for that, although you did kind of let it get away.
He goes, as he stands up, he actually, like, goes to his back and is like, oh, as all the things he just did kind of hit him because he's old. And he's like, I apologize for that as well. I'm not as young and I guess a little rustier than I thought I was, and again, I misread the situation and believed I was the best candidate to take him down. I apologize, but again, I would be willing to barter information about him if possible, so that in case I have a run-in again, a second mistake like this will not be made.
You need not belabor yourself so. The mortal races ever are lacking in the wisdom that comes with time. It is a shortcoming of your frail body.
I placed my staff so it's like against the wall here, and I begin fumbling in my tobacco pouch. I will actually look at him and I will go, too true. But we do the best that we can. And then?
You are a straight Avender is a very...
Here we go. It is a wizard's prerogative to be fascinating, unknowable, and extremely interesting at all times.
Got two of the three. That's saying something.
Good. I begin filling my pipe and fumbling around for a match.
Offered information. Perhaps you know where our quarry is gone.
He goes, at last, no, that is not something that is inside of my current scope.
And perhaps there is very little for us to trade. We, after all, must rejoin the hunt.
He goes, it's very well. I understand. I was hoping that I would be able to have a few trinkets of information that could be parted for a basic understanding of what has just transpired here, so that it could be useful in the future.
The errant mind must be reassimilated, lest his knowledge be lost.
Lost from whom?
From and like this sounds like a chorus of voices. From us. And the rats begin to file out of the room. Either through the windows or...
Yeah. Can I make a Arcana check to maybe put together some of the stuff that maybe I can remember some stuff that would help in the situation now that I have more information?
One of the rats does stay behind, and it turns and it looks at you and it says, "Once again, Avenders of Air, we are, in some respects, in your debt. Not to be forgotten. Unlike you, our knowledge and wisdom is timeless."
He looks sullen at that and he goes, "What a blessing that must be."
A blessing indeed. May you be forever one. And it leaves.
All right, so I'm going to pick up the staff. How much is left of Garrett? I believe you said his name was. Yeah.
Garrick is in 2 large pieces and then a bunch of little ones. The claw wasn't very clean about cutting him. Kind of smashed him in half.
All right. So with that, I will.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
Over
I will. I will. I will. I will take a knee. Are his eyes open? Even I know he's in pieces, but
His eyes are gone. They have been gouged from his skull, and there are just the pulpy remains.
I will.
Sockets.
I will take a piece of. I will. I guess I will take a piece of cloth if possible, and cover his eyes with it for now. And sure. As I do, I'll hold my hand over there for a second, and I go, "May your mind be able to travel far and wide, and may all your questions now have answers in the life to come." Is a traditional passing that one wizard would say to another. Yeah. With that, I will begin to head down the stairs.
Door to the laboratory open again. Like it's a bit more of a mess as you pass. I don't know if you want to go inside there or not. But if you going down,
I'm going to stealthily take a peek around. Actually, wait. What am I doing? I'm going to summon my familiar to go take peeky stealth looks around. I can summon him as an action.
He's unaware of the gravity of the situation.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm double checking. I forgot what I named him. Mercutio? That was it? Okay. I was like, I half remember what it was, but I don't. All right, so I will bead Mercutio to wander around and to stealthily wander around and take a look at things while I look and hear through his eyes.
He down and zips in. And through his eyes, you can see that the lab has kind of been tossed. There's pieces of things all over the place. The different alchemical reagents have been spilled or utilized and discarded. The containers that held them were discarded. Walk through. There's books that have been opened up. There's one book in particular that has been laid out on the desk. Several of the pages have been torn from it. And as you pivot around, you see that also there is a severed head sitting on a table, staring outward, eyes put out, of course. Overall, it's pretty grisly.
I was mainly
there's
checking
a
to make
lot
sure
of
that there was
blood.
nobody around.
There
All right,
does not appear to be.
I will check around to see if there's anything that is useful to be salvaged in this room. Besides the book.
So it mostly looks, it looks pretty grisly. The book is the thing that draws your attention the most, not because of the book itself. Well, partially because of the book itself. It is the same text on the astronomical that you had seen before. Specifically, there is a large page which appears from another volume that has been added either as a bookmark or some other such thing. And it appears to be in Garrick's hand, and from what you remember, that is, and it looks like a spell that has been written. Perhaps on several pages that are stuck together loosely by blood that is dried.
I will collect this and anything else that appears to be that could be of use to normal decent wizards. That's fine. I just want to take a look around. So I will place the book in my satchel for further reading at another point. And then I will head down to the next floor.
All right. That floor, door also open. There's an eerie creaking noise from the boards. And as you pass by, your light illumines elves and a dwarf that are appended from the ceiling upside down. They are hung by their legs, oftentimes with the arms just dangling. The
Aaron, if you're going to be using voice thing, you're gonna have to speak up a little bit because your mic doesn't pick you up since you're a soft speaker.
Sorry about that. Yeah, there's a sizable puddle of blood underneath.
From what I could,
in particular, that appears to have been opened.
From what I could hear, these things are a bunch of people who are hanging upside down from the various different races, the different caravan people.
Yep.
All right. I will bow my head and somberly state, I'm sorry. I was too much of an old fool and too useless to save you.
Are they all dead or just hanging there?
There's a sudden chittering and a scuttling sound.
I take note of the situation.
It doesn't. It the sound occurs and then it recedes back into silence. There is, of course, the soft swaying of the ropes and the creaking.
Yeah, I'm
of
gonna
the
have
floorboards above.
Marcusio do his little stealthy scouty thing around here.
Do 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 do. She meow.
Again, Mercutio being Fey doesn't really understand the concepts involved here, and he's pretty okay. As maybe a sane individual would not be.
Why do you think I use him
he's
for
gonna
this
wander on through.
business?
He's going to wander into the room, and he's going to start looking through the rooms for you. There are more bodies. None of them appear initially to you to be mobile, but Mercutio is doing his scout thing, looking to see where this thing was. I'm assuming, if there is indeed a thing in here. And he sees a shadow darting about, but he's unable to pin it down. And every time he gets close, there's nothing there.
I will.
But he does keep seeing something moving in the room.
I will telepathically tell
floor.
him to come around to this area. And to tell him to keep an eye on to tell me if this thing, if whatever he eventually catches a sight of, if it leaves and heads downstairs. And
Sure.
then I will walk through the door downstairs to the people having sandwiches.
Yeah, there's a picnic going on. I don't know how to describe it otherwise because that's what's been described to me.
All right.
They're having a powwow.
He takes one look at this, and he his head latches back, and he gives a hearty belly laugh.
Ah, so the wizard returns to us.
Yes, and unfortunately, as much as I would like to spare you from the sights in the rooms above, I do have need of you. I fear there may be something in the room immediately above, and I will need your assistance if we are to excavate the bodies to give them a proper burial. Come on. As I gesture for people to follow me back upstairs.
With a hefty sigh, I savor the last bites of my sandwich before getting up to follow the wizard.
Okay. The sandwich finished. You ascend the steps, and you find the same site that Avender had been introduced to. Bodies. In the dark, of course, each body casts its own shadow from Avender's single point.
I'll wait till everyone else kind of gets up to join us. Do people follow? Besides Bird Person. Yeah.
Bird Person's there. He's hovering.
I'm a following.
All right. Well, those are the people I actually know. So I wait to see if the snake.
Oh yes, Soul Kill is with you. He's bringing up the back.
Cool. Then yes, then we head up to the next room, and I go, be careful. I heard some weird sort of chittering noise, but I was unable to find the source of it. Also, brace yourselves for what you're about to see.
Okay.
And so you do, and there are bodies, human, elven, dwarven, well, one dwarf, fairly rare sight, bunch of humans, no cat people. Hung from the floorboards above, or from the rafters of this ceiling. They're covered in mud and blood. Most of them just kind of sway gently.
Can I try observing if any are actually like still breathing or anything like that?
Sure, make me a medicine roll.
Alrighty. Have high
Yeah,
stats.
I would like to also do the same thing but I'm willing to take it at disadvantage just so I can kind of keep an eye out for something happening.
Remain
Yeah.
vigilant.
Oh.
So I guess my goal is actually to like aid another with this more kind of thing. She kind of rolled it before I could say that.
Go ahead. Not bad, not bad. So if you want to, Hannah, you can roll again to see if you get a higher result.
I don't think I will, but
I was you rolled a 17, which is pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good.
yeah, I honestly don't think
Well,
I'll get anything.
it doesn't matter because you won't lose this. You won't lose the 17 if you roll
But
again.
let me
Yeah,
see.
you don't lose. Yeah, you don't lose the next roll, or I mean, you don't lose the first roll with the next roll. It's just a chance at a higher result. So, Hallie goes around and begins examining, and you find a human woman who appears to still have a pulse. She's still breathing lightly. The others look like they're deceased. Is anyone else investigating the room at all, or are you guys hovering in the door?
I'm just gonna be kind of in the doorway.
Okay.
Can I make a perception check?
Yeah, you can go ahead. But it's plus your perception bonus, which is wisdom. It's your wisdom stat modifier. You can actually roll it from the character sheet. If you go down, there's your skills that you can roll as well. What gives you advantage? You just do it regularly right now. I don't think there's any situational advantage. You see a lot of bodies. Are you looking for something specific? You looking for the?
I was just observing the room.
Okay. Yeah, it's it looks like dormitories, for humans, designed, or elves, and the bodies they're tied with rope to the ceilings. There's nothing specific. I don't know if you were looking for anything specific.
Quick question.
The
I
rooms have
should
kind of
still
been
have
smashed and gutted a
detect
little
magic
bit.
going at this point. Do I detect any magic on this floor? Okay.
No. Although one of the things that will have been noted by Hallie at this point and is unescapable for everyone else to a large extent who has examined the bodies is all of them have had their eyes removed, including the one who's still alive.
Ugh.
All right. Well, I'm
Yeah.
going to suggest, because as far as I know, he is extremely competent at these things. We're of course going to cut down that one and have Bird Person look at her because we think Bird Person's amazing at this thing.
I mean, he is, right? Super good. Um, to oh, if I can find it.
Every, every time Avender looks at him, does she regrow her eyes?
So he determines really rapidly that she has some kind of a an infection that has already set in, and that he's going to need a little bit more in the way of supplies to be able to make sure that she doesn't suffer from some larger amount of damage. He's able to stop it slightly. You can see him casting some kind of strange totemic magic. I mean, you've seen it like before. He's trying to stave off, and he says it'll help, but it won't cure any disease that has already set in. And that you guys are going to need to get her to a place where she can receive medical attention, hopefully fast, because if you wait too long, it's quite possible that something could set in that would be permanent or lethal.
All right,
You don't have much time.
We have to rush this human
to the ER. Yeah.
Okay, so then if we don't have much time, what I'd like to do then, and get other people to help me with this so I could, this could be done quickly, is I would like to quickly, cut the other bodies down. Take whatever furniture we can, like wood and other stuff that will burn quickly. And quickly just move them onto I guess the roof of the building, not anywhere near the altar. And with the body of the wizard, and just put them there and just start a mass funeral pyre that we can leave on our way out.
Okay. Bird person maneuvers clunkily, if left to his own devices, the woman down the stairs.
I assume with 4 people we can get that done pretty quickly. Shouldn't take more than like 5-10 minutes.
It would take something more like half an hour to get it all done together. Half an hour, 45 minutes.
I was gonna say so okay. So if it would take that long, then before I do that, I ask Bird Person if we have enough time to honor the dead in that manner. If he thinks she has enough time for that.
He's like, I mean, yeah, but the sooner we get her proper medical attention, the better. I mean.
So.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm saying yes, we can. Yeah, sure.
He goes, all right, then you work on getting her back and seeing to our other patient, and we'll take care of this as quickly as possible. Is there a way I can roll an athletics check to see if I can make this go faster than that time period?
Sure. Be a strong wizard. I mean, it's there's a lot of bodies.
I could also to speed things up greatly. I can cast floating disc.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I will.
You can carry two people, I think, on the disc usually.
I can carry up to 500 pounds.
Limits. Oh well, then you can carry 3 or 4 people per disc.
I will even cast it as an action. So it just takes 6 seconds. I cast it, and I will do that.
It's there for an hour, so I think.
We'll do that, so that should help speed everything up greatly.
Yep. So you guys move the bodies upstairs. and set up the funeral pyre, and you light it up. And the tower shall burn. Yeah. Okay. So once you have set the pyre,
question:
would you
would it
like
be easier to set it up there or to set it outside the tower? I guess moving stuff down would be faster, right? Yeah. All right. So
down.
We do it.
Be,
we do it that way, and I will turn to no,
Undead?
I will turn to the halfling, and I'll I assume that there's like a sheet of some kind around.
Yeah, you can find
all right,
something like
and
that.
I will ask her to go to the top of the tower, and if she could collect the body of an old colleague of mine, the old master of this tower, the proper master of this tower. Do you accept and do that? Okay.
Or?
Because I can't leave. I can't really leave the disc, so I
have-
can't take care of it myself.
Yeah, I
Alright.
have no objections.
Yeah. So we build.
You get up there and you find a body that's in a lot of pieces. I mean, there are two real big ones.
I specifically let her know that she can just get the big ones if that's.
That's awful.
There's like the legs.
Leave the fingers and toes.
I'm like, you just grab the big
torso.
chunks.
It's more viscera and
Torso down the stairs.
it's like the stuff that's in the torso that's kind of everywhere. Because like if you open that up, it's just all over the place.
Right, how on
Loosely
earth am
attached.
I gonna take care of this? I guess I grab as many of the bigger chunks as I can.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
Yeah, it's
All right. Yeah. So.
But you managed to collect, obviously, the important pieces. Or what you consider the important pieces.
Yeah. So then we assemble the hastily made pyre outside.
Yeah. Do you want to say any words over it as well, or is it just like we burned them?
I will wait to see if Bird Person, being of a more holy bent, has something to say, and then if not, then I would say some words.
Bird Person actually doesn't.
Oh yeah,
come out
that
to
he's
see
taking
the
care of the
pyre.
other thing.
He's
All right. So then.
Yeah.
I will simply go forever for whatever you wished in the life, whatever is after this. I hope that you find it. And I'll I will start a bonfire and light the pyre on fire.
light it up, light it up. Yeah. The fire ascends and burns. Consuming the bodies. You guys are still, so that you're aware, you are still in Fest World.
Yep, I know.
Yeah, and Bird Person is inside. No, he's inside Chest World. Yeah, he's just inside the tower yet, and he's got the two people. The guy that you pulled out of the sack. Who has the sack, by the way? Okay. So you have the giant, tattered thing just wrapped around you. It's just satchel. It's his man bag. Okay. Yep. So inside you've got the Bird Person with your infirm. And out here you have the funeral pyre, which the smoke begins to ascend into the red, cloudy sky.
All right. Yeah, I'm not gonna like stay around to watch it once I see it, the fire's starting, and I'll look at the. I will look at everyone else around, and I'll go. All right. Well, let us not risk the living for the dead any longer. We have.
And Sokil is leaving us.
Kill after the bodies have.
Okay, after the bodies have.
After the bodies left, he kind of leaves.
So I head back to the regular tower world.
Okay. Are you going to use the disc to get the
Yeah.
infernal people through? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean.
That's a real trippy thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's his name was on.
Are you going to go with them?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So snake person, the latter is kind of a thing for you because.
You go with the people.
True. Fair enough. That you guys all come out into the main tower. It is dark but significantly less gory here. The woman is still unconscious. Your other guy is also still unconscious. What do you guys do?
Yeah,
now that you're back in the world?
I was able to see that there is a village not too far from here. I assume that is the best place to go, unless any of you know of some place better that we could head towards.
I'm up for anything.
Not terribly familiar with the area.
Looking
so
for adventure.
Sooner we can get.
Might be able to get a BLT there, so I'm up for going to the village.
So we'll use the disc to carry the people and head off that way.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was gonna say that seems like a good place for tonight. I feel a little weird because I feel like it was the watch Joel and Aaron play D&D
So
for a little while show.
It was, but I was real tired tonight, so this was nice. A way to progress the story and have a picnic.
So just
And have a picnic.
just for future reference, I was what I was trying to do by saying that he's yelling stuff was give you guys a chance to to ask if you heard that or not, if you wanted to get involved. If you didn't want to get involved, that's fine, but I just wanted to let you know that I was trying to give you guys opportunities to get involved.
As
I mean,
I try to avoid all the weird magical stuff.
yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like nobody here had a problem with doing what they did, given that I gave them every opportunity to act if you wanted to.
Like that. I was unaware of any opportunity to act. I just kind of felt like we were just even hearing anything. I just feel like there's huge.
I did say on several moments that the tower was shaking, that there were loud noises going on.
I'll just imagine the entire.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. You guys are sitting there in the middle of the gory scene. You're sitting there roasting sandwiches while the wizard yelling in the background. There's some freaky psionic crap going on, and you guys are all just yummy.
Basically.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. I like how that ended. I don't like so much that Joel got. I came up with that.
I mean, if you guys are happy, I just want to let you know I was not trying to be like, and everyone pay attention to me and no one else gets to do things.
This is now my adventure.
No, that was honestly, and there's no point to beat yourself up for that because I just shone the spotlight on you because you were the only person who was answering any of my questions. So that's what was happening there.
Yeah.
That is okay.
I think at one point I saw the blood pole and I was like, oh, he's in. That's how I
Nope, you guys were all in the same tower. I mean, there's no reason to know that other than that the tower was shaking and that he was screaming. But
Even with my the way I've developed my character.
I have a bunch of apathetic assholes. That's what this party is. Like, oh, someone's dying somewhere? Whatever.
Is there more?
Is there more bacon? Did anyone bring mayonnaise?
Alright, good. Well, I know
Even
I know the challenges that are before me now.
I love
I-
Cultest was a nice character.
I was like,
no one responded. Just like, yep, great job, Joel.
I was.
Go again.
I developed a game that is Bloodborne-esque, and everyone's like, okay, I'll just play my character from Bloodborne then, I guess. As I go around,
We all tried to kill each
yeah,
other
just
again.
crazy murder hobos who are like, if it moves, we kill it. That's just how it works.
So that's kind of how it works.
I'm okay though. I'm okay with that.
When it's all said and done, you know, it's like, well, I guess we take a break here around this little lantern thing, turn in our blood echoes or
My
something.
blood echoes.
Speaking of blood echoes and turning them in,
Joel's level 2 and the rest of you
I'm
are.
going to.
We get
Don't
half,
go
Delicious.
through the
we
rest
get
of your
half an
losers
XP
and stuff.
for having a picnic.
We need XP for doing social activities.
There we
I am-
go.
I'm going to ascend people to level 2 because I like games and playing them, and I think that this game is made to
Level 2.
play. Also, I think some of the people in the party are voyeurs, which I understand. And I don't.
No, I'm
wanna
not
penalize
really
people
asking,
for
I'm
having
just
fun the way they
being-
have fun.
Uh,
Oh no! I just as like an explanation to anyone who is watching and cares.
I thought of this is gonna sound super weird, but for some
Yeah.
it might just be because I'm tired. But my brain vocabulary, when you said voyeur, I thought my brain was just like, doesn't that mean a pervert?
Okay, so most people associate voyeurism with the highly sexual connotation that it has, but literally all it means is one who likes watching. Like someone who doesn't
okay,
like
I
to act,
see.
but likes
get-
to watch other people act.
Okay, I can see where the perversion comes in there, but yeah, I
Oh
see, I
yeah,
see where-
oh yeah, it is used in a very perverted way in the like modern sense. Yeah, it's not often it's not often deployed in the sense that it has positive. It has a very negative connotation culturally, and I think that it has a negative connotation even in gaming. Like a lot of gamers think that if you're not playing the game, then why are you here? But I've known quite a few people now in the D&D games that I've played that they just prefer watching other people do the crazy action stuff and like sitting there and having their picnic and being like, oh yeah, this is fun. And then you ask them to do something and they're like, no, I just watch. And it's like, what's going on? But people
Well,
enjoy
we
that.
all
You know, I'm
We all heard
an
that,
actor,
Aaron?
Joel's an
We're a
actor.
bunch of perverts.
yeah, you're all a bunch of perverts, and congratulations, you get level 2, you perverts.
Oh, there we go.
And there's no one more perverted than Weston, and we all know it.
yeah.
Amen to that.
I might be feeling a little selfish and maybe like ask that because I was risking my character's life. Maybe I can have like an extra point of inspiration next time or something.
Hey, if anybody's risked their life, it's been me.
Oh, yes, Weston.
Your life has been at risk, that's for sure.
Twice.
If that's not okay, that's fine. But
So-
there's just part of me that's like I kind of.
I want a thing. I want, please give me rewards.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll think of something. You did get a spell scroll that nobody else got. You also got dibs on magic items that you didn't necessarily grab a hold of.
Wait,
I see that. I called them first.
there were other
There were
thought-
things, yeah.
Oh,
There were stuff.
Okay.
It's okay.
I was
It's
like,
okay.
I specifically searched for everything though.
Yeah, it's just they were where you weren't looking, I guess,
Okay.
to a large extent.
Because I
Um,
okay.
as like an after the fact thing, like the broom was actually
Oh.
an item that you could take, the magic broom as a specific, and also you chose to knock the scrying orb out of his hand. There was another thing he was
that's fair.
holding.
I think it was too
Those
small
are
for
those
us
are
to
the
see, right? Or for him to see.
no. He had the standard, which turned into a staff. The bad guy did. So like when Joel killed the red cap, right? The red cap dropped that standard, the thing that he had on the hill, the thing that teleported him.
Sorry.
Twice. The enemy that Joel was fighting in the top of the tower, the first thing he did in the fight was he used Mage Hand and he grabbed that staff. And it turned into a magical implement of a certain amount of power. And I was like, one of the things I actually did when I designed that fight, which albeit was made to be fought by 5 people.
Way to go, Joel.
Congrats, you did what 5 of us could have done.
You did what 5 of us were supposed to do. Congratulations.
Exactly. Congrats. Great job on doing the work. Thank you for giving us all the credit.
One of the things that I set up was because he's blind. If you knock the orb out of his hand, the fight gets a lot easier because all of a sudden he's at disadvantage to do everything that he does. And he doesn't have line of sight anymore, so like a lot of his spells he can't cast, and it wrecks his day. But the other thing that I hadn't thought about was like you could also rip the staff out of it. Well, actually, I had thought about it. I had thought if they get a hold of the staff, they get it, and it is a powerful artifact item.
Well,
that. You went for one, not the other. I was like, okay, that's fine. It's what you chose to do. But yeah, but you do get the scroll, and it is a scroll. I guess I'll wait till you examine it to let you know what it is. But it's pretty cool. And of course, you can learn spells from scrolls and add them to your book. Is the thing.
Yeah.
Is the thing that you could do. I don't know how lore masters work that way. I know the regular guys all get like bonuses to doing that, but
yeah. Let me.
I will
that's
actually
a cool thing. Look and see what I get for being a lore master because I'm excited because I get level 2.
All right, but yeah. So I'll see about things. I will figure some stuff out, and like I said, I still got to work on people's special abilities and stuff. But next week, I guess we will begin what is supposed to actually be the game proper because you guys have just finished the tutorial level.
Oh.
All right.
You are all level 2 for certain. I will figure something out because I do like to reward people for stuff, Joel. So I appreciate the playing.
I was trying to get other people involved.
You and me both, brother.
What?
Yeah, we'll figure things out.
Apparently, nothing can breach our voyeurism. So.
No, you guys you like to watch too much. All right.
Lore Master, here we go. Second level, I become a compendium of knowledge and a vast array of topics. Your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability checks made to use the Arcana, History, Nature, or Religion skill if you are proficient in that skill. Guess what skills I'm proficient in? Yes.
All of those ones. Someone read ahead.
In addition, your analytical abilities are so well honed that your initiative in combat can be driven by mental ability rather than physical. When you roll initiative, I would use my dexterity instead. Spell secrets. At second level, you master the first series of arcane secrets uncovered by extensive studies. When you cast a spell with a spell slot and the spell deals acid, fire, cold, force, lightning, necrotic, radiant, or thunder damage, I can substitute that type with another type from that list. You can only change
That's
one
super
damage
nice.
type per spell. Yes, so basically I only need one damage spell, and I can use it as any. You replace one type of energy for another by altering the spell's formula when you cast it. When you cast a spell with a spell slot and the spell requires a saving throw, you can change the saving throw from one ability score to another of your choice. Once you change the saving throw in this way, you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest. Yeah.
Dude, that's super cool. Oh, idea for people, since you guys have played a little bit with it now, did you like the initiative system that we've been using over the tutorial, or would you guys prefer to do the traditional, just roll a d20, add a modifier, and be done? Because, like, both systems work for me just fine, and usually when I end up in combat anyway, I end up being an idiot and just making up what the turn order looks like based on people's actual initiative, like the initiative you take as a person rather than as a character rather than as a statistic. But if we're going to use some methodology, would you guys prefer to keep going with the dice? And I'm going to add that modifier thing so that people are using their decks, or in your case, Joel, you'd be using your it now as like a bonus that would lower the initiative order in which you occur. But do people prefer just rolling a d20, or do you guys like I take this action, that action, the other action, and I roll dice for them individually?
Like it. It seems to give more of a cinematic feel to it. So
That's kind of what I felt. It takes a little while to set up every scene, but the way that I design combats, I kind of reduce enemy health and increase damage dealt by players. So
if we were to keep using it, just for me, because I like having these kind of things, I would like just a quick reference sheet to help to know exactly how it works. I know it's super simple, but just having that actually written out so people could look at it and know how it works, that would be nice. And then
I can develop a sheet I did for everybody's special abilities.
And then also if we could actually I don't even need to see the numbers there. If we could just have the little initiative tracker and just see who's going in what order, that would be fun for me. But that's just me.
Yeah.
I like having those visual things.
I can set that stuff up. It'll take me a little longer every combat, and I goof stuff all the time. Which is when I say goof stuff, I don't goof you guys' initiative order. I play with the bad guys a little bit and make them not do things that they're supposed to do.
I mean, yeah.
But they're all things I can do. They're all things that those are requests that I can meet those goals.
Right.
So hopefully everybody can be here next week. Hopefully I will provide some kind of an engaging scenario that actually allows you guys to play if you want to. If you want to be voyeurs and sit up in the
just watch as the
stands,
old wizard takes care of all of your problems for you.
Exactly, you just hear this slow cheer.
Go Gandalf!
You just hear this
you can do it.
laugh of one person.
Yeah, just one pair of hands off in the distance.
Or just Statler and Waldorf and be like, well, I could have done it better, but you go ahead and keep doing it.
Just through commentary about how
Take a cruise, you said. See the world, you said.
Does anybody want help leveling up their character to level 2? All right.
I know I'm gonna.
But I live with you, so that's easy to do.
Yeah.
I'm here all the time.
Anna's got me. If you need help,
Or me.
Weston,
Either
let
one.
me know.
Okay.
Yeah, or that guy. He's real good.
I'll grab one of you when I'm ready.
When he's ready. Oh yeah, I forgot to do that, guys. I guess I was just playing the civilizations. Okay, then Fantastico.
Cool.
It's been wonderful seeing you all. I'm gonna go eat now because I haven't eaten anything yet. And
For
it's dying.
real, you need to make yourself before these things happen.
So we do it on the day that's right after, like, my hell day at work.
He even pushed it back to 6:30,
So,
man.
like, I don't go to sleep usually until much later on my end day on Sunday because no, on Sunday I stay up later than normal. And today it was like my brother and my mother were hanging out and I didn't get to see them like all week. So I was like, I'm going to sit here and do this.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can relate to that.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna.
I could do that, except that they were there then.
I'm just
That's
saying, just
probably
like
true.
make some make yourself a sandwich before this starts, man.
I do that sometimes. It's hard because I have to talk, and food in my mouth makes that hard. But yeah, I'm hungered. I had food here. I just was talking a lot, so I didn't eat it. Oh, that's a lot of mugs. Oh,
Alright.
All right.
Bye.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Good evening.